Welcome ESR community 3D speed competitors. In particular, my name is Michael Magas and I'll be running solo with a replay commentary from Zandvoort with the 3D speed sprint series. Had some problems with the initial recording, unfortunately, and as a result, we will have to deal with the kind of ghetto way of doing this, the secondary way, the unimpressive way of doing this, which is the replay commentary. Fortunately, there are no pit stops in this race, so the fact that we are not told who is yet to make a pit stop means that this will actually be fairly easy in that regard. But there's still maybe some weird camera work going on here, as I have to change cameras manually and do them one at a time, so I may be looking for something that I cannot really find. But we deal with what we need to deal with here and make it happen. Let's go through the grid, shall we? This is the advantage. I get to show you every car on the grid when we do this commentary this way. Chris Johnson will start on pole in the Black Falcon 55 car. He is one of the main championship contenders, along with Paul Riccobeni. Really, it's between those two, it feels. Murray Iwanchuk's zero result at Zolder has really limited him. And he's kind of relying on Paul or Chris missing out of the race to really get in there again. But there are some secondary guys like William Murrah and Darren Turcotte, who we'll get to later, that are still kind of in this championship fun. So joining him on the front row is the aforementioned Vortex GT Racing Paul Riccobeni. We'll start from P2 on the grid, the championship leader in the number 12 car. Then it is Andrew Burke in the Kessel Racing 23 Ferrari. And joining him is the 961 Murrah Racing Ferrari, which is something that probably the F1 team probably would kill for right now, as a double second row start for Ferrari. Starting from P3 will be the M Sport B Bentley of Dominic Turcotte. Then it is the M&M Barwell Motorsport Lamborghini, the only Lamborghini in the field, of Murray Iwanchuk. Mika Watt will start from 7th in the lone Regime Racing Nissan, ahead of the second Vortex GT car of Michael Magas in the Lexus, ahead of another Lexus, the number 43 LZA Racing Team Antonio Garda. Following that, we have Wesley Stokes in the number 43 Rebel Racing, or not number 43, the 119, pardon me, Rebel Racing Porsche. Zach Martin, the newcomer debutant for Tech 1 Racing in the Lexus, will start from P11, ahead of Guillermo Martinez, the lone McLaren in the field for Carbone's Racing Team. Starts from 12th. His teammate Alfonso Chacon is once again absent. Javier Perez Torres in the third and final Vortex GT car in 13th place. I believe Vortex is the only team with 3 cars on the grid here today, as M Sport, Rebel Racing are both missing 1. Regime is missing 2. LZA is missing 2. So a big chance for them to widen their gap at the top of the standings once again. Cyberline Aston Martin car Wayne Hutchison will start from P14 in the car number 7. Jeff Wentworth for OTL Stracker Racing will start from 13th on the grid, followed by the second Cyberline car of Richard Higgs. Then it is Rick Martel in the 333 Ferrari, ahead of Dixon Hurst in the 34 Kaz Maduro Draga Corse car. That is the top Honda in the field. His teammate is down in 21st place. Andreas Lacutis in the second Rebel Racing Porsche will start from 19th, ahead of M Sports Cliff Hemian. John Picha, as stated, the second Kaz car. The second OTL Mercedes, Jake Keckley, and the only man from the Sim Tech Race Labs team will start from 23rd place. That is Juan Borji. A quick note, Zach Martin, who is displayed as being an amateur entry, is not an amateur entry, and in fact will be competing as a Silver Cup car. Let's find a good cam to start the race off, and I think the Helicam is always the best option. Let's roll down to the start-finish line. We'll be kicking off here rather shortly. Should hear the engines fire up here in a couple of seconds. There we go. Bit of a not a good start there from Paul Riccobeni. I mean, we're not underway yet, but that's going to bunch up the field there on the outside row, and now he's up ahead of the pole sitter. So this is a little bit messy here at the start from the front row. You can see the two Ferraris are kind of like, what are you two doing up there? And how can we do this? Come on, guys. A little bit more on the constant speed here would be good. We head to the line. It is still Riccobeni ahead of Johnston. Johnston needs to get back ahead of him. Also, a little bit further back. Really, the inside row is in a bad spot here because Andrew Burke is out of position as well. And we head to the line. Messy start, but we are good to go. Chris Johnston leads the way from Paul Riccobeni and from William Murrah, I believe, who's been promoted to third place as we head into the first corner. Riccobeni out a bit wide, and that gives Murrah the inside run, so he might go from fourth to second in a very short period of time here. Will have the inside line into this corner and is indeed ahead of Paul Riccobeni in the Lexus. It is Murray Iwanchuk up into fourth place, so Andrew Burke has had a disastrous opening here and is down into fifth position from his P3 starting spot. Dominic Turcotte in sixth. Then it is... We're getting the standings updates right now, actually, as they go through the timing gate. Although apparently... There we are. So Turcotte, Mika Watt, Mike Magas, Guillermo Martinez, Wesley Stokes, Zach Martin. Garda has fallen back to 12th place, having started in 9th. Then it is Hutchison, Perez Torres, Wentworth, Higgs, Martel, Hurst, Picha, Lacutis, Keckley, Borhe, and Cliff Hemian has slipped to the back of the pack, so something may have happened to the amateur championship leader. So we look further back here. We'll ride with Andrew Burke here for a second, as he is under pretty solid pressure from the Bentley of Dominic Turcotte behind him. If I refer to you as Darren Turcotte, once again, my apologies, Dominic, because there is a hockey player with the name Darren Turcotte who I had some kind of random fandom of, and I don't even know why. But it does get stuck in my head as we end the first lap here and head into the first corner, which is the best overtaking zone on this track. Let's get into the TV cam here, I think. There we go. So there's Turcotte. There's Magas, Martinez, Stokes, Zach Martin doing quite well, up in 11th place with Garda on his tail. Wayne Hutchison, Perez Torres, Jeff Wentworth is the lowest ranking. Well, not the lowest ranking. So it looks like we may have lost Richard Higgs. There he is making his way into the pit lane. So bad times for Richard Higgs. I do believe on hindsight that was a failure of his force feedback on the wheel that is causing that pit stop. As we try to pick up Jake Keckley running behind Andreas Lacutis with the AM cars of Borhe and Hemion behind him. So it is still Chris Johnston up front, the Black Falcon Mercedes-Benz, leading from William Murrah and Paul Riccobeni in tight chase. Then it is Murray Iwanchuk, Andrew Burke, and Darren Turcotte. The rest of the field is falling a little bit behind. You can see Mika Watt is starting to lead this second trail. That includes Magas, Martinez, and Stokes. And then there's a slight gap back to Martin and Garda. Another step back to a Wayne Hutchison-led one, and then a final one of Lacutis, Keckley, Borhe, and Hemian. So things are starting to get into a group scenario here, but nobody's on their own. Everybody's pretty close to at least the car directly behind them or in front. I mean, you can see the biggest gap on the field right now is 2.3 seconds, and that's with Mika Watt here to Turcotte, who you can still see in the distance. So it's not like that's at all a great distance, although it looks like Turcotte may have made a mistake and has fallen off the back of Andrew Burke. Be doing my best to follow the action here as best I can, but there are no promises. Mika Watt getting a little separation from Mike Magas there. That gap is up to 1.7. Or, no, about 1 second. Doesn't look like it, though, to be honest. Garda has fallen really far off the back of Zach Martin, so I wonder if the Lexus LZA car is struggling with some damage right now. He is now becoming part of the Hutchison train with Perez, Torres, Wentworth. Oh. So the deal with that big lag spike right there, that was Richard Higgs, I believe, leaving or rejoining the server. We're not sure which it was. Actually, hang on. We can find out for sure, actually. So here we go. Might have been him leaving, I don't know. And that causes Wayne Hutchison all kinds of problems. He ends up off the... Oh no, it's Rick Martel! Who absolutely... Probably because of that spike, ends up wiping out Wayne Hutchison. And that is a huge blow for both the 333 car and Wayne Hutchison's number 7 car for the Cyberline team. And of course, this is also caused by the Cyberline car of Richard Higgs having problems. So, issues early on for the Aston Martin team. William Murray, in the meantime, briefly looked like he had the lead. Maybe he still does against Chris Johnston, and he does. So it is William Murray to the front of the pack in the Ferrari. Now with Johnston, Riccobeni, Yuanchuk on his tail. And you can see Burke and Turcotte also keeping up. Mike Magas has overtaken Mika Watt. I will not keep you waiting on the suspense there. You can check out my onboard if you want to know what happened there. That was a result of the said lag spike, or the said custom spike, because it ended up with Mika quite off the track. And I think Murray Iwanchuk just had a problem. The Lamborghini getting a little bit wide. I don't know the turn names here. My apologies. Getting a little bit wide and losing control of the car. Ends up in the sand trap. That'll let Burke and Turcotte through. There goes Magus as well as Mika Watt and Guillermo Martinez. Wesley Stokes might have a shot at the Barwell car. Nope. He is held off for now. And also in the background there, it is Zach Martin. So Zach Martin having a very strong run in the Tech 1 Lexus. Oh no! Murray off again! Iwanchuk having significant problems right now. Through goes Wentworth. That's Perez Torres and the two Hondas from Kaz of Dixon Hurst and John Peacher. They're having a pretty good day. They're up to 13th and 14th place now. Very nice, as that is Jake Keckley also going through. And there is Andreas Lisiudis, and I think that's Antonio Garda, who is way down the pecking order now. I have no idea how this race has gone so badly for the Lexus of Antonio Garda. I think he started like P9 and is now running at P18. Very, very stunningly bad day for him right now. At the front, it is still William Murray leading from Johnston and Rick O'Benny. Then it is Burke, Turcotte, Magus in 6th, Watt 7th, Martinez in 8th, Stokes is 9th, and the debuting racer, Zach Martin, is into the top 10. Jeff Wentworth also having a pretty solid day, up in 11th place after a very unimpressive qualifying. So Hutchison is still running, but it is in 19th place, and the fact that he's not seemingly gapping the AM cars of Bori and Hemian does have me concerned. And there is Rick Martel. Let's see if we can get a look at the damage to his car. Yeah, we can see significant damage to the hood. And I think that 333 Ferrari is running in a very handicapped manner. Hutchison doesn't look too bad, admittedly. It looks a lot of superficial damage. A lot of paint is gone. But there is damage to the diffuser at the back. So I imagine that car also is not pleasant to drive. So William Murray still up front. And the 961 Ferrari ahead of Chris Johnston and Paul Rick O'Benny. Burke in the background. Turcotte is a fair ways back. And then it kind of ends. Mike Magas is about 5.3 seconds off this battle for the top 5. So I would say the top 5 are a definite group. Then you have the Magas, Watt, Martinez, Stoke, Martin area from about 6th to 10th battling. And then Wentworth and Perez Torres kind of on their own, actually, in a two-way fight for 11th. Then it's Hurst, Picha, Keckley, Ewanchuk, and then another group led by Lasutis with Garda. And then you get back to the Hutchison with the AMs and Martel kind of running on his own. And I think it's safe to say that Richard Higgs, who is now 4 laps down, probably will not be taking any further part in this race. William Murrah, race leader. We've had 3 different winners, I believe, so far this season with Murray, Ewanchuk, Chris Johnson, and Paul Riccobeni all triumphant. Riccobeni last time out at Zolder. Johnson won at Brands Hatch. And Ewanchuk, the winner at Barcelona. So if William Murrah can take victory here, it would give us a 4th different winner. Same would go for Darren Turcotte and Andrew Burke, who I would not yet count out. They're very much in this fight, although in 4th and 5th right now. Would also mark a 4th different brand to win. We've had Lamborghini emerge victorious, Lexus, and Mercedes. So Ferrari would like to add their name to that list. Looking down through the order, trying to see if I can see anything moving. We've lost somebody, and I believe that is the amateur car of Juan Borji. That is a huge blow for Juan because he was guaranteed 2nd place in amateur today. That's a huge haul of points that he really needs. Cliff Hemian is now guaranteed an AM win for just finishing, and that cup is becoming increasingly more likely to just be his for the M Sport Bentley team. Murrah still ahead of Johnson. Riccobeni, Burke, Turcotte, Magas, Watt, Stokes, Martinez, Martin, Wentworth, Perez Torres, Hurst, Picha, Keckley, Ewanchuk, Garda, Lasutis, Hutchison, and Hemian, the top 20 with Rick Martel in 21st place. It is a Ferrari leading. It is a Ferrari in last place. It is a proud and depressing day for the Prancing Horses so far, although they do have 2 cars in the running for a possible win here. This is basically the closest fight on the track right now. Outside of Keckley is, well, we should probably get on Jake Keckley. Keckley and Ewanchuk are maybe the 2 danger men right now. Keckley did not qualify well, but has traditionally been a fairly strong racer. He's a pro driver after all. And they're both catching up to the silver cars of the Hondas as Murray Ewanchuk goes down the inside of turn 1. And it looks like Ewanchuk would like to begin his comeback. And that is the 15th place for the Barwell Lamborghini of Murray Ewanchuk. Next on his list, it is the Hondas of Picha and Hurst. Very nice looking Drago Modulu Corsa liveries sported by the Honda team. Wesley Stokes has picked up 8th place over Guillermo Martinez at some point. So the Rebel Racing Porsche is up to 8th place, demoting the lone McLaren to 9th place. As one of the Porsches, or one of the Hondas getting very off the road there. That, I think, was Dixon Hurst in the 34 car. Yes, it was. And John Picha overtakes him, as well as Ewanchuk, Keckley, and Antonio Garda. I'm looking for any damage I can find on Hurst, but it looks like just a mistake. That car does look like it's still in pristine condition. Although a little bit hard through the Audi S there, the only turn on this track I will ever reference by name. Let's be clear. Murrah still under immense pressure at the front from Johnston. Riccobeni is kind of settled into 3rd place, a little bit behind this. He's comfortable back to Burke. He's kind of letting these 2 battle it out, it looks like. And this train here is also very interesting. Mike Magas at the head of the 6th place battle with Mika Watt and Wesley Stokes, the 2 pro cars, versus the silver leader. Quick update with the silvers right now. It is Magas, Martin, and Perez Torres on the podium. This would give Magas the silver lead for the first time this season if he can bring it home. And Guillermo Martinez has stabilized, so there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with his car. Maybe just a mistake that demoted him to 9th place. Let's have a look at the car there. Looking for any obvious signs of damage. There is some on the side there, so it looks like he may have traded paint, possibly with Stokes. And that may... see if we can get a look at Wesley Stokes' car here for any similar side damage, as he is overcooking it into the Audi S. And that will, for the time being, free up Mika Watt to assault Mike Magas. In the meantime, Zach Martin is now being caught by Wentworth in the OTL Mercedes and the 3rd Vortex GT racing car of Javier Perez Torres, the 3rd Lexus from that team. Lexus, of course, a very popular brand in this field. There are 5 of them here today, and that is actually a bit of a low number because we are missing the 2 LZA cars of Zoltan Kalmandi and Larry Foster that usually are here on top of that, along with Guillermo de Wolf, who is running a custom Lexus. Javier looking for a way past Wentworth. Behind them, John Picha is still hanging on to that 13th place. Ahead of Iwanchuk, Keckley, and Garda, a very quick trio of cars, still being held up by the 134 car. Doing an excellent job. That Honda is not considered a tremendously strong car. It was a brave decision by the silver outfit Kaz Motorsports to go with it. Very cool looking car, very nice livery. Maybe not the strongest car in the field though. Also Wayne Hutchison. So, not letting that damage stop him. He's caught up to the back of the Rebel Racing Porsche of Andreas Lasudis and is looking to get past the number 54 car for 18th place if he can. Cyberline, of course, losing a tremendous number of points here today because he is the only point-scoring Aston Martin right now. And there are 3 Vortex GT cars ahead of him. So Vortex GT is right now... Oh, Paul Riccobetti's up in 2nd place. We got to go check that out. We need to know what happened between Chris Johnston and our man Paul Riccobetti, and I'm not finding it, and it may just be too far back. I apologize. I did not notice the positional change until it was too late to go find it. But Paul Riccobetti is into 2nd place there for the Vortex GT team. And his championship hopes, their team championship hopes, their silver championship hopes, looking really good right now. This team is a forerunner to achieve a Triple Crown result this season. We'll go back to the battle for 13th place. Picha versus Iwanchuk versus Keckley versus Garda. Garda looking down the inside of Keckley. Keckley qualified quite poorly, so he's having a pretty reasonable race, but you got to wonder where that pace fits in right now in that OTL Mercedes there. Dixon Hurst in behind them, so whatever was plaguing his car seems to have righted itself. Unfortunately, too late for him to retain his 13th place, and he's now back in 17th. Murrah still leading from Johnston, Burke, Turcotte, Magas. Not really much going on in the top 10 right now. Garda looking for a move down the inside of Keckley, and he's going to get it into turn 1. So that is 15th place for Garda, who has had a rough day. Hutchison at some point has bagged Lasudis for 18th place. Might as well go with a quick rewind and see if we can pick up that overtake. It's into turn 1, so it's basically a carbon copy of the move that Garda pulled on Keckley And that is Hutchison into 18th place in the Aston Martin. Another Silver Cup championship contender whose day has not really gone according to plan, if we're being honest. Javier Perez Torres losing a little bit of ground to Wentworth, but still within striking distance, as you can see. And, of course, these two are benefiting tremendously from the defensive efforts of John Picha against the very fast, probably top 5 pace car of Murray Ewanchuk. Ewanchuk heads into the Audi S. Still... Oh, no! Picha loses it. And we'll see who the last guy to get around him is as he is dragging that car. I think it's teammate Dixon Hurst probably who got... No, he comes out ahead of Hurst. So I think Hurst has made a mistake as well. So that'd be Ewanchuk, Garda, and Keckley who got through. So they're going to be up to 13th, 14th, and 15th. And I am correct. But I do feel like they're probably in pace order right now, so I'm not really sure much is going on there. Picha is still ahead of Dixon Hurst, and they have Wayne Hutchison, Lasudis, and a very solid running Cliff Hemian, who seems to have put together a couple of really nice laps and is in 20th place. Looking for a close battle right now, and right now it's basically Hemian catching up to Lasudis. That appears to be our biggest danger zone fight right now. Only 4 tenths separate the two. So we'll stick with the lone surviving AM car for a little bit here. Cliff Hemian has been the dominant AM driver this season, looking to make a promotion to Silver Cup next season. Not too many AMs left in the field, and there is some talk about some redirecting of the classes to possibly create some of the lower end silvers to AM, as Hutchison appears to be sniffing for a move against Dixon Hurst, but it didn't come together that time by the looks of it. So let's get on with him and see what the Aston Martin can do to the Honda. Down the inside, Hutchison looking for the move. He made the move on Lasudis here as well. And in the background, Hemian looking to get through on Lasudis. I don't think Hemian got it. Lasudis closes the door, but Hurst does not. Hutchison up into 17th place in the Cyberline Aston Martin. Next up will be the other Honda of John Picha, if he has his way. Javier Perez Torres has overtaken Jeff Wentworth for 11th place, so Perez Torres on a march in his Lexus. That's almost 3 Vortex cars in the top 3. They currently run 2nd, 6th, and 11th. Dominant display here from that team. This is why they have had such a successful season. Absolute, just making every result count. Every time out, you can count on 3 Vortex cars doing their best and getting near the front. Still a tremendous battle here for the race win. Speaking of the Vortex GT team, Paul Riccobeni in the sandwich of William Murrah and Chris Johnston. That battle is still going on, and we are still on pace for a 4th different winner and different car winner this season. And that would be William Murrah and Ferrari. Other battles include Mike Magas still leading Miko Watt in the battle for 6th place. Wesley Stokes just behind them, with Guillermo Martinez making up a lot of ground. Zach Martin, Javier Perez Torres, Jeff Wentworth, all quite close together. You'd think Murray Iwanchuk would like to get up with them, but he is way back here, and it looks like Jake Keckley at some point did get past Garda. I wonder if that got physical, because they're both well off the back of Iwanchuk right now, and that would explain why if they did get a little bit argy-bargy over 14th place, but Keckley emerges ahead for now. And no real play from Hutchison yet on John Picha. So let's get back to the front of the pack. William Murrah still leading the way. You can see Andrew Burke in 4th place, Turcotte in 5th. They are starting to not become factors here for the podium, admittedly. They don't seem to quite have the pace in the long run. I think they definitely have the pace in a single lap idea, but they don't seem to have the pace in the long run right now. And that is allowing Murrah, Riccobeni, and Johnston to get further ahead. So, interestingly enough, Wayne Hutchison's now... Oh, we've lost somebody. Who have we lost? Looks like Wesley Stokes, the Rebel Racing Porsche's out. That puts us down to 20 cars. Dixon Hurst, by the way, has fallen to the back of the pack, so something has happened there for the Honda. John Peach is also dropping like a stone. He's lost spots to Hutchison, Hemian, and Lasutis. It's a shame that we missed that. But he is back down into 18th place now. And a really promising run for that Honda car has suddenly kind of gone to... has gone the way of the dogs. Mika Watt looks like he's ready to make a challenge on Mike Magas. It is now just 0.3 of a second between the two. That Lexus has held off the Nissan pretty much this entire race after taking the lead early on. Oh! Pit lane. Dixon Hurst going to the pits. Serious damage to that Honda by the looks of it. Definitely some heavy damage to the front end. Very messed up windshield as well, so that will put Hurst to the back of the pack. It was looking like such a promising day for this Honda, but both of them have hit some bad luck. Pick back up in the battle for 6th place. Mika Watt versus Michael Magas. This is not the closest battle right now, but it is one of the closest battles. Technically, Javier Perez-Torres closer to Zach Martin right now, as well as Johnston and Riccobeni. But that hasn't really seen anything. But let's get a look at Javier Perez-Torres. He is into 10th place now, so all 3 Vortexes in the top 10, as he is tracking down Zach Martin. In the other Lexus there, the independently run Tech 1 Lexus. They've kind of left Wentworth for dead, which is surprising. Although, I suppose not really. Wentworth, admittedly, not the greatest of qualifying performance, so maybe Zandvoort not... And Keckley had similar problems, so maybe there is a gap in the OTL Racing collective knowledge when it comes to Zandvoort, because they were very on the pace at Zolder, and they don't seem to be quite where they were here today, although still looking at good results in 11th, 13th right now. Mika Watt looking for a move into turn 1. But Mike Magas has defended the position and retains 6th place. Back at the front, it is still Murrah, Riccobeni, Johnston, Burke, Turcotte. Then that battle between Magas and Watt, which we're going to go back to because it is within 0.2 of a second right now. Javi Perez-Torres giving Martin a hard time for 9th place. Outside the top 10, things are kind of settled right now. It is looking increasingly like Wentworth, Ewanchuk, Keckley, Garda, Hutchison, Hemian, Lasutis, Peachet, Martel, and we have lost Dixon Hurst. So Hurst has parked it. We are down to 1 Honda and 19 cars still circulating. It is disappointing because there were points on offer for Hurst. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 running silver cars. So that would have still been an 8th place for him in the Silver Cup. And a big boost of points. That is the type of thing that in these kind of races you always have to keep in mind. Yes, the result here today is not going to be great, but it is points. Mika Watt still running in 7th place behind Mike Magas. Johnston threatening Riccobeni there for 2nd place still. Those are really the 2 battles to keep an eye on right now. Although, calling me crazy, Javier Perez Torres looks a lot closer than 0.57 of a second. And, well, the gap still says it's 0.6. So, interesting. That looks closer, in my opinion. Chris Johnston was the pole sitter, running in 3rd, but victory is still within his grasp. As we find ourselves with about 12 minutes to go in this race, so plenty of time. Wish I had the clock up there, but unfortunately I tried activating the broadcasting tool to give us the clock, and it went away. So I will give you updates as I can when we hit like the final like 5 minutes or so, just to give you a heads up. It's there. We've been going for about 29 minutes now. As they approach Rick Martel, that'll be blue flags. Rick is just out there soldiering on after a hard contact with Wayne Hutchison. Oh, Riccobeni is down the... Oh! What happened there? We need a closer look. Paul Riccobeni went... Oh, Murrah kind of turned in on him. That might be something for the stewards to look at. But for the time being, that keeps William Murrah in the lead. But it is now Chris Johnston following him. Nothing too bad, to be honest, but that did feel like a little bit of dirty pool from the Ferrari. A little bit of a turn-in on a car that was very much alongside him. Javier Perez Torres is getting past Zach Martin. Should take a look at that. Looks like Martin overcooked it into turn 1. Very much did. He's out of shot even there. Javier with a good run, but it does look like Martin is just going to hang on to it and retain 9th place in the Battle of the Lexuses. Is it all Lexus silver podium right now? I didn't even realize that. Magas, Martin, and Perez Torres. Can Javier find his way past? Martin in his debut is holding up remarkably well under what has been fairly immense pressure all race long from Javier and others. And we go to the hunted Vortex Lexus of Mike Magas as he battles with Mika Watt in the Nissan. Mika's still trying to find a way past. Nothing happening yet. The battle for the lead is not over yet. I was going to say Riccobeni looked like he was falling back. Not so. He is caught up by 0.2 of a second. And it is down to about a half second. And that looks like less than a half second to me as they head through the early parts of the lap here. 19 laps in the books. Probably have about... We're on lap 20. Probably looking at about 5 more laps, maybe. Got about 8 minutes left on the clock. Johnston looking for it. And he's got it. Back into the lead. Paul Riccobeni looking for a way through as well. William Murrah trying to get back in the lead. Riccobeni is going to get through, I think. As they head towards the Audi S, although actually Murrah has the inside line, so maybe Murrah can hold. Looks like Murrah will hold. Riccobeni on the inside now. Paul Riccobeni looking for a way through. William Murrah still hanging on. Second place still in the hands of the Ferrari, but it is the Mercedes of Chris Johnston, the Brands Hatch winner, looking to become the first repeat winner. They're catching up to John Peachy. You know who's actually coming into this fight again is Andrew Burke there in the second Ferrari. Catching up considerably. Murrah retains the inside line into turn 1 and hangs on to second place once again. So there's now Johnston, Murrah, Riccobeni, Burke, Turcotte, Magas, Watt, Martinez, Martin, and Perez Torres, your top 10. Keckley has picked up a spot, it looks like, over Wayne Hutchison, or not. Maybe just a visual error there while I was looking at the numbers. Javier Perez Torres still on the back of Zach Martin. And Mika Watt still on the back of Michael Magas. Everything is action with the Vortex GT team right now. All three of them are in massive fights. And I'm kind of liking the look of Andrew Burke right now. He's right up on the back of Paul Riccobeni. Looks like Riccobeni's either had more contact with the car of William Murrah, or he made an overtake attempt and failed, because Burke is all over him now, and it is no longer about going forward for Riccobeni. It's about defending that podium. He's been on the podium step twice, including the win at Zolder. He would like to be there again. He'd like to celebrate with his two silver mates, who are both on the routes to the podium right now. Dixon Hurst getting out of, or not Dixon Hurst, John Peachy getting out of the way of the lapping position. So that might kind of cramp Burke's plan there. Looked like he was thinking about going to the inside of turn 1 and has elected not to. Time is running down. About 5 minutes to go. And it is still Paul Riccobeni hanging on to that podium spot. And it is also Mike Magas hanging on to 6th place against Mika Watt. Javier hunting Martin. He's the only Vortex looking to go forward right now. Keeping an eye on the gap between Murray Ewanchuk and Jeff Wentworth. That seems to have been coming down for a long time, and indeed it is down to 2.3 seconds. It was once very, very large. So we might see some action there from the Barwell Lamborghini, the OTL Mercedes leader. Cliff Hemian has dropped back to 19th place. And Antonio Garda is in the pit lane. What has happened? Can we see? Looks like he pitted this lap. I'm not seeing anything really unusual on the timeline. So this is not good for the LZA team. It's also not good for Hemian, who has dropped way back. Something happened to Hemian on lap 19 by the looks of it. And he ended up very, very off now. And is in fact behind the likes of Martel, who has been driving with damage pretty much this whole time. Sorry guys, we missed out on that. Mika Watt getting a little out of shape there. In the battle with Michael Magas out of the Audi S's. As they come to the end of lap 22 here today. Chris Johnson has left William Murrah for dead. He is buzzing away at the lead. Really emphasizing his power right now. We're looking at about 3 minutes to go in the race. So probably about 2 laps. So we'll probably get about 25 laps here from the leader. And 22 are in the books. He's on lap 23. And Ewanchuk is all over the back of Jeff Wentworth. I feel an overtake coming. Ewanchuk has taken, is in the neighborhood of like a second a lap over Wentworth. What was Wentworth's time last time around? 39.7 for Wentworth. 37.7 for Ewanchuk. So he is about 2 seconds a lap faster right now than the OTL Mercedes. And he is on the hunt. We knew he had pace. It's been a bad day for him, but he would love to get this 11th spot and try and keep those fading championship hopes alive after missing Zolder. He was up front after the Barcelona win, the runner-up position at Brands Hatch. Was easily the championship leader, but now he's having to work just to stay in the conversation. Needs his teammate Matt Higgs to start showing up and get that second car running to help him out at the front. Wentworth versus Ewanchuk. Coming down to the line, Andrew Burke, by the way, is within a second of Paul Riccobeni, so the pressure is still on for that final step on the podium. A double Ferrari podium is still possible. To the inside of turn 1 goes Ewanchuk. This has been a favorite overtaking spot on the circuit. And he's got it. I thought he pulled out a little bit early there. He could have made a little bit more use of the draft. But Ewanchuk is through and into 11th place. We go to Andrew Burke. Trailing William Murrah and Paul Riccobeni. Looking to get on the podium for the first time this season. But also very interesting is the battle for 6th place. Mika Watt all over the back end of Michael Magas in the Lexus. Lexus v Nissan, 2 of the absolute beasts of the grid. 2 amazing sounding cars. Where will it end? Looking further back, Wentworth is technically still in firing range of Ewanchuk, but I don't really think that that's on. So I think it's really the battle for 3rd and the battle for 6th that hold our attention right now. Well, I could be wrong on that. Martinez has been caught by the Lexuses of Martin and Perez Torres. So problems for him. He did a 38.9 last time around. They are doing, I don't have a time for Martin, 38.4. It's only about a half second faster. Martin maybe 0.8 faster. So I don't know how this gap closed. Maybe a mistake by Guillermo Martinez. But they are now on their final lap of the race. Lap 25. The end of this race is coming. Javier going down the inside. No! Contact! What happened here? He got on the grass and he collected Martin. How is Martin? He's clearing through the sand trap. I think that has saved Guillermo Martinez. Ewanchuk has picked up 10th place in the whole thing over Javier. And may be able to pick up another spot here against the Tech 1 Lexus. So there's Johnston, Murrah, Riccobeni, Burke, Turcotte, your top 5. 3rd place is still on the line, but I don't think Burke has it. I don't think Riccobeni can do anything about William Murrah on this last lap either. Looks like the top 5 is kind of decided. That makes this battle and the one for 6th place the most interesting on the track right now. We know Murray Ewanchuk has got a lot of pace. Can he get past the Lexus of Zach Martin here at the end? Talk about not doing your team any favors. Vortex GT there with Javier having contact with Zach Martin has maybe left 2 spots up for grabs for a major rival of teammate Paul Riccobeni, and that is Murray Ewanchuk. No points at Zolder. Weak result here. Magas is going to hang on, I think, for the checkered flag, and he does. It is officially Chris Johnston from William Murrah, Paul Riccobeni, Andrew Berg, Turcotte, Magas. What? Martinez gets 8th place. Martin hangs on to the line for 9th ahead of Murray Ewanchuk, Javier Perez Torres, and Jeff Wentworth there in 11th and 12th place. It looks like it'll be Jake Keckley, who qualified pretty near the back, taking home 13th place. Good soldiering effort from him. And the damaged car of Aston Martin, Wayne Hutchison in 14th place. Somebody ran out of fuel by the looks of it. I think that was Jeff Wentworth. Andreas Lasutis coming through the Audi S here towards his finishing point of this race. Looking at 15th place, 14th place. Pardon me, I think it is 15th place. I think someone just left. John Picha. I cannot go to John Picha for some reason. Looks like he left. Rick Martel. This is the problem. People leaving. Really kind of annoying. Anyways, the replay is over at this point. So let's have a look at the final results via the race app, because we have some questions because of people leaving. Sorry for the keystrokes, but we will get an answer here. And a championship update will be provided before we head off on the air here. If you're not interested in that, you can leave. The racing action is over. So the final results from Zandvoort are as follows. Race winner Chris Johnston. Also, no, he didn't get the fastest lap. Fastest lap went to second place, William Murrah. Murrah second place, Paul Riccobeni third, Andrew Burke, Dominic Turcotte, Michael Magas, the Silver Cup winner and sixth overall. Mika Watt, Guillermo Martinez, Silver Cup car, Zach Martin, Marie Wonchuk, Silver Cup podiumer, Javier Perez-Torres, Jeff Wentworth, Jake Keckley, Wayne Hutchison, Andreas Lasutis, John Picha, Rick Martel, Cliff Hemian, your AM winner, seeing the line. DNFs for Antonio Garda. We're not sure what happened with him or with Wesley Stokes. Heavy damage to Dixon Hurst forced the Honda out of the race. We lost Juan Borje and Richard Higgs earlier on. Let's have a look at the overall standings real quick. And it is going to be Paul Riccobeni still leading the championship with 170. He is 12 points ahead of Chris Johnson. Darren Turcotte in third place, followed by William Murrah and Murray Iwanchuk. Those five guys are the only ones to have scored over 100 points so far this season. In the Silver Cup, it is leading Michael Magas by 10 points over Javier Perez-Torres. Wayne Hutchison's on 40. Guillermo Taylor, who's absent today, is on 35. 15 for Rick Martel. And then in the AM Cup, it is pretty much, I think, a wrapped deal at this point. Cliff Hemian on 36 points ahead of 13 for Mauricio Delgado. 12 for Kira O'Neill. 8 for Juan Borje. And then in the Teams Championship, Vortex GT Racing leading the way with 309 points. Absolutely killing it. The M Sport crew is in second place on 198. 129 for Cyberline, who had a bad day today. M&M Motorsports in fourth. And then it is LZA Racing, who had their first zero of the season. So I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back in action in 2 weeks' time, and that will be at Misano in Italy. A somewhat forgotten about Italian track, of course, because Italy is home of so many great tracks with Monza, of course, and Imola, Mugello. Really kind of forget about the gem that is Misano, and then we'll finish it up at the start of December when we head to the Hungaroring for the season finale. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed. Good luck to everybody in their respective championship battles, except for the Silver Cup, because I haven't taken that. I will have my ESR hardware finally, if we can keep this up. We'll see. That was a really solid result for myself, my first top 10 of the season. Also coming up, we got the finale of the ESR RWB Super Series this Saturday from Barcelona. Get ready for that. And with that, I will sign out and see you next time.